All right, well, good morning. Out here at the 50-yard line again this morning, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I thought I would talk about suppressors, suppressor shift, does it affect your accuracy, and all of that jazz. And the reason I think about it from time to time is every time I shoot the B14 with a can on it and I have a good target, a lot of times I see people make comments about, man, you should shoot that thing without the can to see how accurate it really is. Well, I know I've said it before in comments, but I'm going to bear it out and show you all today that the rifle actually shoots better with a suppressor. And I may dabble around with a couple of different ammunitions here today to show that it's consistently better across the board. It all depends on how much time this takes. But I've got a target down there with 6 1-inch shoot and see paster deals on it, and I am going to shoot some SK pistol match, 15 rounds, 5 on the top 3 targets unsuppressed. Then I will reload, reset the chronograph, attach the Banish can to it, and shoot the bottom roll. And then after I get done with that, we'll talk about it a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this camera going and give this a rip. All right. With this shorter barrel on here, shooting only it's 22, and it's standard velocity, but I get an echo effect, so I like to put earplugs in. If you may notice when I'm shooting a lot of my other older vintage stuff with a little bit longer barrel, the muzzle gets out beyond the canopy, and it doesn't bother my hearing as much. So that's why I'm doing this. I believe that's 5, yep. Last group. All right, so the chronograph says that was, what do we got here? Pistol match, 1100.9 average with an SD 6.1. That's a really good SD. The group does not look, or groups don't look that good. They're 1 minute groups at least. Those are an inch, probably bigger groups. So there is a little bit of wind out here, but again, is what it is. So let's go ahead and kill this camera and reset the chronograph. attach a can. And I may edit out all of this here. We'll see how long the video goes and how much space it takes up. But put that back down. Let's tap the screen so it doesn't shut off on me. All right, so chronograph's reset. Mags are reloaded. Lead de-wipe. All right, get this camera going again. That's still rolling, so, all right, suppressed bottom roll. If I remember right, there is a point of impact shift. I'm going to hold center of the targets like I was the last one. These are probably all going to group a little high. Yeah, maybe not. No, there we go. First 5, that first one suppressed was low, and then the next 4 are in the same hole, it looks like. That's 5 rounds and probably about a 3/8 inch group. All right, so that's 15 rounds with an average of 1103. So believe it or not, it picked up 3 feet per second, 0.1, and the SD is up to a 7.0 now. So let's talk about that for a minute. Kill this camera. Couple of things. I've shot a couple of different ammunitions already this morning through it, and I will most likely share those into this video as well. But the reason that it picked up a little bit of speed, in my opinion, is that the can's starting to get dirty now. I've probably got 60 rounds through it so far this morning, screwing around. And because the can's a little bit dirty, everything's tightening up a little bit on the inside of it. I could be completely off my rocker with saying that, but that's what my mind says. And talking about the cans, why is it shooting better with it? Well, it's basically a tuner. This is a 100% titanium can. It doesn't weigh much at all, and until it gets about 40 shots through it, 20 to 40, it doesn't start to actually tighten the groups up. But once it's got that carbon and that fouling and that lead deposit inside the baffles and the end cap, then it starts to really shine. And then it drops off at about 200 to 250 rounds, which is why I bought a second of the cans. When I get home here today, and while I'm playing around with editing this video, that can will get stripped. It'll go in my sonic cleaner for about 4 hours, and then I'll pull it out and let it dry, and then put it back together and slap it back on the rifle and throw it in the safe. The reason I bought the second can was at the time that I bought this rifle, I was starting to get real heavy into the NRL 22 stuff, and because of that, I noticed that I liked shooting with the suppressor because it's just cool, it's quiet, and I noticed that after I'd been practicing for a while leading up to a match, or if it was a 2-day match, which there were a couple that I did, that the performance dropped off on the can. So I was like, you know what, I should have a second one in the bag ready to go in case I need it to swap it out. I always keep the second can, if I know I'm going to do that, I keep it pre-fouled. I take it out, I shoot it 30-40 shots, and then I put it away and don't completely clean it, because this can gets all the use, and this is kind of a backup. I clean this every time. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. It makes sense. The weight and everything that's in there is going to change the barrel harmonics, and in the case of this rifle, it improves it. When I first got that can, I was shooting a Ruger RPR stock rifle with the stock barrel on it, and it did not like the can. But again, I thought it was cool because it was quiet shooting that. Then I changed the barrel out on that. I put an E.R. Shaw competition barrel on it, and it absolutely loved the can. It tightened the groups up probably 1/4 inch using CCI standard velocity at that time. It tightened everything way up. I let something get in my head about that rifle and the plastic stock and the flex in it and everything, so I bought this, and I sold that rifle to my son. In between those two rifles, I also have a Savage B22, and the B22 hates these cans, absolutely hates them. So it just kind of comes down to, you know, the right can for your rifle. It's sort of like finding the right ammunition that your rifle likes to eat. I just got fortunate that this rifle likes this can. Whether every B14 would like it, who's to say? But this rifle likes 2 different Banish 22s, and their quality is so good that when I have both cans completely clean and I put them on my loading scale, they weigh within grams or grains of each other. So tenths of an ounce. So that's why it likes both cans. Anyway, enough of me yapping about my suppressors and what I think of them. Hopefully someone out there found this, you know, beneficial or enjoyable, and if you disagree with me, well, then you disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to share my experiences in the limited shooting I've done on this type of stuff, and my experience with the suppressors. So until then, you all have a great day, and we'll see you at the range.